That's one. Two, most jobs now, there's either a range posted, one, or two, I as an employer expect that you know what the going rate is. I mean, I go out on the bulletin board, it tells you what the average salary of a DeVry graduate is in 10 different degrees, right? So we know that. My sense is that the biggest danger is that the employer's like, wait a second, I haven't even decided I want to hire you yet. You're already trying to negotiate a salary with me. So a tip for me, I don't talk salary until I'm talking about employment. And I think it should come from the employer. I'd like to offer you a position, it's this much, and then you can do your cartwheels where they can't see and say, holy shit, that's 10,000 better than I thought. Or you can say, God, I'm really flattered, I was looking more in the area of X, but maybe you can walk me through the rest of the package, the benefits, or whatever else it is. It's a lot easier when it comes from the employer, and they expect it to come from them. I just think the danger, out of 10 people asking that question to the employer, 9 of the employers are going to be like, what the hell? She hasn't even gotten the job yet,
And also, thank you. Another thing is sometimes people look at it and say, you know what? They're caring only about the money. They're not caring about the total organization. So it has a negative connotation that comes with it when you focus on that. And also, your desperation just shows through. Desperation is not attractive. It's not. When you go to an interview, you cannot go in there thinking, oh my God, all my bills, they're not paid, I'm in foreclosure. You cannot go in there within your mind. Because that fear, we smell it. We smell it and we say, oh, we can pay them the minimal. Yeah. So
is it good to negotiate? I'm sorry.
Yes. We will talk about negotiation. We will talk about negotiation is another step. Okay. So get the job. Get the offer. Get the offer. Then we will discuss negotiation.
Interview soon.
And you hope that when they've offered it to you that they've said no to all the other candidates and you're sort of in a bind.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
Doesn't always happen that way.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Any questions? No? Anything else that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, a couple things. One is, I think, 2 things that are on the improvement side. One is you are a fast talker. Okay. Which is fine because I'm a pretty fast talker too. But especially in an international company, sometimes you're dealing with people where English isn't even the first language. Very common, very common. So I always, whether you're presenting or you got to know that. But you're a fast talker and you're confident. But I think that's something to watch. And then the other one on one of the questions on the Best Buy about the tough situation. I thought you explained maybe a little too much in detail, sort of the footprint of the warehouse, and then came back to the boss thing. I sort of led you there a little bit because I asked some questions, but I think that sometimes will happen if the interviewer is sort of interested in something, and I throw in, oh, my kids love video games or whatever. It can sidetrack you, and you got to find a way to remember to answer the question. So that's just a heads up. That out of 6 questions, I think you did a phenomenal job. I thought you were dressed very professionally. I thought that you didn't respond to my slouch potato way I interview, and you're straight and you looked me in the eye and always smiling. I think one of you said. I thought the comportment was really good. The cover letter I liked. I really liked I've reviewed the program requirements. It makes it really easy. I don't have to one is, I like that about the candidate. They would say, I've reviewed it and here's what I got that maps. You said you thrive on new challenges and tied that to to me immediately. I went towards we're international, we move around a lot and all that kind of stuff. You showed me that you have a high value on ethics and character. So that's something that's important to you that you didn't have to say in this, but obviously it's important to you enough for you to say it, so that's interesting to me. I'm not a big fan of words like holistic, but it's probably in the GROW program perspective. It's probably a holistic management training program. But I tend to think short and sweet. And you're very, and I love the opening line. And then I'm sitting there on the bulletin and it says, the age of putting an objective in your resume is over. It's one of the articles in there, but it says people put it in their cover letter, and I thought, wow, I actually like objectives in resumes. I think it says here's what I want, I'm going for this job, and it's very clear. Sometimes it's not clear what people want. I like the skills piece. I really, I like the related coursework, especially coming out of college. I mean, we expect that you're not going to have an incredible amount of job experience. So related coursework I really like, and I haven't seen that a lot, but it's really good.
What I did on that with when I was telling too much information, I was giving them 2 challenges at the same time, and I should have just cut it down and given 1, but I gave them 2. The challenge was the staff. I was pushed to do something I didn't agree with, and then I had the challenge of the product. So I gave them 2 difficulties, and it apparently didn't make the connection too much.
Well, I'll get to that. I thought you were very comfortable but respectful. You were confident but not overly aggressive, but you felt comfortable. And I think that's so important. I mean, it's not like we wouldn't expect you to be nervous in an interview, but you can just really just get over nervous. I mean, you just remember that people are people. I mean, I always say you can't have a bad round of golf. You might be able to play bad golf, but typically the people you play with are pretty nice people. And people you interview with are just normal schmoes, and they've sat in your shoes, and so they know you're going to be nervous, but if you can sort of just practice with people or something, people that you don't know, get over those jitters. Sometimes it takes 5 minutes, but you end up going over it, but you have a good sense that, I might have a business card, but I'm still the same old person. So, you weren't fazed by my notes, so I did a whole bunch of stuff. I put my head down and wrote, and I was actually seeing whether she was. Some people just stop. They're answering a question, and I write my note, and they just. I'm like, what? Well, it's almost like I'll continue talking when you listen to me again. That's how. They might be saying, look, I'll be respectful of you and let you finish your notes, but that's how it would come across to me. But I thought you weren't fazed at all. And I thought you had which is really important, I think you came in wanting to make sure that there's a couple things I know about you regardless of what question I ask, which is really important. There's got to be 2 or 3 things that you don't want to leave the room unless they know that about you. Whether you founded that foundation, or whether it's that you've managed a lot of people, or that you've managed through difficult situations, or whatever it is, and so that's really important. And even on the failure one, which is all people say, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? Always start with your weaknesses. You don't ever want to end with a negative. And even your weaknesses, turn them into a positive one way or the other. You went and got a job, and then you got your degree, and you got your GED earlier. And I end up forgetting the failure piece, and I'm much more interested in what you did with that and where it's gotten you. So that's.
You even asked, why would you consider that a failure?
Yeah, exactly.